Hello everyone, James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me. Cuervo and I are out camping, and we said earlier, a couple weeks back, that we were going to go ahead and answer some questions. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to kind of make it fast because there's a pretty big storm heading our way, and we got to start packing up. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and answer about 5 questions each. You guys sent some really great questions. We selected the best ones. We just had to narrow it down to about 5 each. So we're going to go ahead and answer those questions. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started. Okay, so first question is going to be for me. Matthew Wilcox asks, have you ever thought about doing a Patreon exclusive Red Dead Online posse to play once a month or something like that? I know you really enjoy the game, as do I. As for viewers who play, I think it'd be a really cool idea to bring in more people to the Patreon. Thanks, man. Hope you and Cuervo have a great trip. I've been listening to Cuervo while unpacking at the new place. Haha. That's a great question, Matthew. And you're right. I happen to be a very big Red Dead Redemption fan, as is Cuervo. I think it's pretty obvious that we're both very much Western fanatics, and we love the game. However, I'm also pretty dumb. I'm not really much of a gamer, so I've never played online. I don't even know how to set that up. If I can figure it out, I think that would be a really cool idea. But yeah, like when I went to go buy the Red Dead Redemption, I had to buy the PlayStation 4 and everything because I didn't even have it before. I just wanted to play that game so bad. Great question. Great idea. I just not sure how to go about that. In related news, though, we are planning to film a Junkyard Fox review on Red Dead Redemption 2 coming pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Next question is Eric Garcia. He asks, my question is, if you are prepping food for your family, how would you store food for pets over a long period of time? And I know you've thought about this before because you have cats, lol. That is a really, really smart question. That's a really good question. I have cats. I have 3 cats, and I love them like my children. I adore them. Truthfully, I haven't really put a lot of thought into making them food. I know some people are not going to like this, but I have always encouraged my cats to hunt. I've always wanted to keep, they live a good life. They have food and everything. But I do encourage them to hunt occasionally. They go outside. Just for the fact that, something can happen to me. I could be hit by an 18-wheeler on the freeway one day. You never know. They could get lost, something like that. So I've always wanted them to, occasionally dabble in hunting. And they don't do it often, but once in a while, one of them will bring home a bird, or, they'll kill the bugs that get into the house. So I want them to keep those instincts with them. As for food, in a bad scenario, luckily, cats are carnivores, so I can, trap fish, whatever it is that I'm doing, I can give them scraps, if that's what it came down to, from, the, pieces of catfish or small rodent, rabbit, that kind of stuff. So, great question. I haven't really thought about making food for them in some kind of bug out scenario. Okay, next question. Radical Nar asks, rattlesnake catch and cook? Another question. As a desert camper, what do you do once the sun goes down, other than cook, to pass the time till you sleep? I know it's a little tricky to just sit down next to the fire and relax. You gotta watch out for snakes, scorpions, spiders, all that. I'd like to know what you guys do to pass the time, especially if you're not near water. Headlamp night fishing is always fun, but when you're just out in the desert, there isn't much to do other than drink, which I'm fine with, but like you mentioned, I'm cutting down too. I guess I'm asking other nightly things to do. Haha. Keep up the good work, man. Can't wait for the new video. What do we do at nighttime? A lot of times we do drink. We'll crack open some whiskey or a couple of beers, and we'll have conversations. We talk about things we're into, Star Wars, or whatever the case may be, knives, women, whatever. Other than that, sometimes I guess we'll make some tea, and I relax. I don't really have a lot of problems in the desert with snakes or scorpions too much. Just basically cook and drink, and that's about it. And all the other activities like whittling and all that stuff, I kind of save for the afternoons, around this time of day after breakfast, and you're just relaxing. So yeah, I don't really do much other than that. Possibly sometimes scout like go get firewood and then like try to film. We run into some kind of animals. But that's about it. Oh, and there is a catch and cook rattlesnake video in the works. They're pretty difficult to find. And last time I caught one, I just took it home and cooked it. Yeah, so I didn't film that. But I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly positive we're gonna run into a rattlesnake sometime this summer. And yeah, I'll put on my bandana, my eye patch, and go snake eater mode on them. Okay, next question's gonna come from Lucas Kuhn. He asks, "Have you been bitten by a snake? Where is the scar on your forearm?" I think he means to say, why is there a scar on my forearm? I have not been bitten by a snake. I think he's talking about this one. I have a gnarly burn there. I don't know if the lighting doesn't let you see it. Yeah, it's really gross. I actually have a second one. This camera. There we go. Yeah, pretty gross. There was no grand adventure to that story, to be honest. It's just a case of boys will be boys. I was an idiot when I was younger, and me and my buddy Tommy, we had been drinking, and we just basically dared each other. We branded each other, see who can take it the most. So we both of our arms are barbecued, and very painful, very painful. We sobered right up. It was a painful 2 months of healing for that one. But yeah, it doesn't involve bushcraft. It doesn't involve any of that stuff. That's just, once again, boys will be boys, and boys are pretty dumb. Okay, this next question comes from Johnny H. Pay. He asks, "Any plans for a part 4 of Operation Survival? 1, 2, 3 were well done." If you guys don't know Operation Survival, it's a little short series. It was a short movie, basically, that we filmed, where a character was, in a desert survival post-apocalyptic scenario. It remains probably the highest point of Junkyard Fox creatively. We basically made a movie with $0 budget, and it came out really good. No, there is no plans on making a part 4. That story ended. I know I did leave a little post-credit scene, just in case we wanted to like go back and revisit that story. But once again, we have no budget, and to get people to, the actors and all that stuff to come together, scheduling wise, and we all, have different responsibilities and projects, and yeah, it was just behind the scenes. Not gonna lie, behind the scenes, it was very difficult to make that movie. A lot of things went wrong. A lot of things that we didn't take into consideration. So yeah, that story's over. I've been on and off working on a comic book that's a spin-off that deals with the female character at the end. But I hate drawing, so it takes me forever to finish. But I'm hoping to finish that pretty soon. Yeah, no Operation Survival Part 4. That story is over. If I make that comic book, the one about the girl, and it gets a lot of positive feedback and there's a demand, I can actually know where the story goes after the story ends. So I can possibly work on a comic book there if you guys are interested. On another note, we are going to be working on a Cuervo Negro music video, hoping to have it done by Halloween. And yeah, so I'm going to be getting back to the director's chair, getting back behind the camera, and I think it's going to be really fun. And my friend Jackie will be returning, the female character from part 3. She's not playing the same character, but she will be returning for that music video, so we're really excited about that. Okay, the next question comes from Shane Linenberger, my buddy. He was the one that I camped in Arizona with. He asks, what is one skill you want to work on more or learn? One skill I would like to work more on is hunting. I have never hunted anything large like deer or elk and stuff like that, and I'm very much interested in hunting. So like everything from the tracking to bringing down the large game and then processing it and making something out of the hides. I think that's just really fascinating. I would love to do that. So that's definitely something that I'm personally more interested in. When you really break it down, if we had to use labels, I've said this before, I'm not as much of a bushcrafter as I think I'm more of like an aspiring hunter-gatherer. That's where a lot of my interests lie the most. So yeah, something like hunting, I think would be really cool. Of course, I'd be respectful and only consume the animal. I wouldn't be a trophy hunter. But yeah, definitely something like hunting elk. I'm hoping to do that pretty soon. Okay, so next one is from Figrind. He asks, what outdoor skill do you find you are most lacking in? Outdoor skill that I'm most lacking in could be possibly first aid. I'm outside of the basic, antiseptic wipes and bandages. I really don't understand, or why I haven't really gone through training or anything like that, where it's something a little bit more serious, some serious wound or something. So yeah, I'd say that would be it. First aid is very much a weakness. Possibly another one could be shelter building, because I don't have a lot of experience doing that outside of like some hobo ones out of garbage. So yeah, shelter building and first aid are my weaknesses, I'd say, that I need to devote more time on. And then another one, we'll answer this one back to back, we'll answer this side by side, is D. Vanderberg asks, what are Cuervo and your favorite skill that you've learned or practice? My favorite skills that I've learned or practice, I'd have to say cooking. I'd have to say I've become really good at cooking ever since I got into camping. As of 6 years ago, all I knew was cooking ramen. Ramen and eggs was all I knew. Maybe a steak, and even then the steak was kind of crappy. And now, spending more time outdoors and that kind of stuff, not only have I become more resourceful, but I've become more imaginative. We just made jambalaya last night while camping, making stews. If I catch something like a catch and cook, I caught a catfish and just cook it over the fire, and yeah, I think cooking is definitely something that is I enjoy the most. In fact, sometimes we even joke behind the scenes like, man, Junkyard Fox is just a cooking channel at this point, but we love it. So, at least I love it. So yeah. All right, now it's Cuervo's turn to answer that question.
I would say my favorite skill that I've learned is tracking, is being more self-aware of like your environments, and learning what type of animal lives here and hunts here and feeds here, so you're aware of your surroundings and the possible dangers of what's around you, like identifying tracks and what's eating this plant and things like that. And so yeah, that's one skill that I try to keep working on. But yeah.
Okay, so these next questions are going to be for Cuervo. The question comes from John the Feller Dewitt. He asks, what is your favorite guitar brand?
Favorite guitar brand? Well, I have, of course, there's a lot of guitars, brands and styles, but recently I've started liking this brand called Michelle, and they have a lot of good folk style guitars, and they work a lot with like blues and country and whatever style you like to play. It has a lot of good sustain, so it has a lot of like resonance in the body. So I just like sustain a lot. But in terms of electric guitars, I like Squiers and Fenders, just for the classic look and the electricity and the power behind it. And Gretsch is another good one too. I think it's more if you like that clean bassy sound. Gretsch has that beautiful like dance to it when you're playing, whatever you're playing through it. It's cool. And yeah.
Okay, so next question comes from Lone Cedar Outdoors, and he asks, do you make music for other channels besides Junkyard Fox? And if not, would you be willing to?
Well, the whole making music for Junkyard Fox was kind of a happy coincidence at the time. I was working on Cuervo Negro. It was more of a project at that time, and I was just making music that I wanted to hear from listening to the greats like Ennio Morricone and a lot of great Italian composers and Spanish and Mexican. And I think the southwestern sound it's unique, like desert music, I guess you can call it. But it conveys a lot of emotion and drama and a lot of stuff like that. And but in terms of making music for other channels, right now it's not on the schedule, but I have thought about it. But it's just impossible to get separate projects out there and work on other things that I have going on right now too. But I did work on a song for Leo from Irish Zombie Nation, just because I respect him a lot and I think he's a great guy. And I thought making him a song is my way of saying or showing like gratitude and that keep it up stuff. And that's it, man. Either way, I hope you enjoy the music and keep listening on and stuff. Yeah.
Alright folks, so that's about the conclusion of this video. We tried to answer as much questions as we could without making the video drag on too long. So I hope it cleared up some questions. I hope you guys got to know us just a little bit more. And if you still have any questions, go ahead and chime on down below, and we'll go ahead and do our best to go ahead and answer them. And now we're going to hurry on up because there is a big storm heading this way. And we need to start packing away our tents and all that stuff and to get on out of here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have a lot of cool content coming up pretty soon. So if you liked it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.